Hello, everyone. Welcome to the June 18th meeting of the Board of Professional Engineers, Architects, Surveyors, and Landscape Architects. Before we begin, we'd like to play a short video.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the raise.
Sorry about that. We're having some technical difficulties with the video, but we will go over some instructions on accessing the meeting and instructions on if you would like to testify, what you need to do. So our vice chair will go over instructions.
Internet access. To view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You will be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will also be asked for an email address. You may fill in this field with any entry in an email format. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raised hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about that agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. Upon request, your Zoom video or similar on-camera option will be enabled to allow you to be visible to the board members and other meeting participants while presenting oral testimony. Please turn off your camera after you conclude your testimony. It is the individual testifier's responsibility to ensure they have the video and internet capabilities to successfully stream or remotely testify. The board maintains the authority to remove and block individuals who willfully disrupt or compromise the conduct of the meeting. For phone access, if you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you will be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you'll be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering the asterisk key and then the number 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering the asterisk and then the number 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing the asterisk key and then the number 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter the asterisk key and then the number 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access when testifying, you will be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will be continued on a specified date and time. This information will be provided on the board's website. Instructions to attend the State of Hawaii virtual board meetings may be found online at the board's website as well.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, moving on to agenda item 1, call to order. We'd like to do a roll call. Everybody who's in the meeting is here today. So ask everybody, as I seek your name, please respond. Here's Kevin Katayama.
Present.
Clayton Pang.
Here.
Howard Lau.
Here.
Brian Fujiwara.
Here. Here.
John Lucas.
Here.
John Tagatani is excused. Jay Ishibashi is excused. Janet Permiano.
Here.
Vice Chair Nancy Cassandro.
Here.
Joel Kurokawa.
Here.
Alan Inaba. Here. Alyssa Carson.
Here.
And then I'm Tony Lau, the chair. Seeing we have quorum, calling the meeting to order at 10:16 a.m. As a reminder, board members, please state your name prior to providing any kind of message or speaking. Agenda item 2, executive officers report.
Hey, thank you, Tony. Just like last meeting, we have another request for CE refinement waiver for a licensee who has retired and is no longer practicing. Is there, so the letter's included in your packet. Does anybody want to move to executive session to discuss this in a confidential way? Seeing no, just like the last waiver, we have approved this in the past. But this is up for a vote or a motion to approve or.
Can I move to executive session?
Yes.
Can I ask what sorry, just so I understand the basis, is it to consult with me, the attorney? Okay, that's fine.
We have a motion to move to executive session. There's
Brian.
a second by Brian. All in favor? Aye. Okay, moving to executive session. Back. Continuing on with agenda item 2, is there a motion to approve the request for waiver from Sheila Davis for CE renewal requirement?
Second.
Robin Nancy, second. Brian. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody abstain? Anybody nay? Very nice. Okay. Motion passes. Okay, agenda item 3, new business. The NCAAS Western Zone meeting that was held in Bend, Oregon. We had representatives from the board, Howard, Kevin, and myself. There is a written summary in the board packet. But anybody think I'd want to highlight anything?
Let me highlight maybe 4 items that I thought was maybe of interest. There was a mobility report by Karen Purcell, and what was interesting is she developed a huge spreadsheet of what everybody's requirements were throughout the whole country. And what she found was that generally all members of the Western Zone, as well as nationally, are all in alignment for mobility. It's not the structural engineers though, this is all the other engineering disciplines. And everybody has broad acceptance of the NCAAS records. The question that she's gonna have is to our boards is whether we see value and whether she should do the same thing, her committee should do the same thing for the structural engineers. And my recommendation is, yeah, we should, as a board, ask her to do that for the structural engineers as well. The treasurer's report by Carl Tonander, he did say that NPWS is in a great financial position, and 60% of the revenues come from the exams. And what they found too was that the exam takers have, for all the disciplines, have increased. So they're making more money. However, except the SEs. And I can understand why, because the structural exam, the passing rate was low, and there's issues with the exam, and I'll go into that as a 4th thing. And I told them, even myself, I've recommended our engineers to wait a bit because of the problems that's in the exam. The NCAAS also has this foundation where it was started maybe 2 years ago, and the previous year they issued $400,000 in these grants for whatever reason to promote licensure, promote engineering, surveying, and licensure. This year it got up to $443,000. The reason I bring this up is that in 2025-2026, 56 letters of intent were received, and we need to encourage, like, our University of Hawaii engineering department to also apply for money, because I know they have this outreach program to reach out to intermediate students, and if they need money to promote that program, they can go and ask for money. Again, and the last thing, the structural engineer exam. So my advisement to our guys is wait to April 2027 when the SE2, the depth part of the exam, is going to be reduced from 60 questions to 48, probably 20% reduction. The big problem with the exam was that the current exam, of the 60 questions, 20 of them are unscored pilot test problems. you gotta answer them all, but it won't count those 20 questions. And that's a abnormally high amount when all the other engineering exams is much less. Having 8 out of the 40 in 2027, it'll be 48, and only 8 of the 48 will be these pilot test problems, which is in line with all the other engineering disciplines. It's just that this past year and this year, they got 60 of them, and 20 of them are these pilot test program problems. The problem with that is that guys can spend a lot of time on the wrong problems. They cannot finish the exam. Say they got 60 and they only answered 40, and 20 of the 40, the best they can get is only 50%, even if we got them all right. So, you know, it's really.
What is the reason for that?
So many because this whole exam process is new, and so they need to develop these more problems to throw into the database.
They allotted more time for that.
Okay, for this year they're allowing an extra hour. Next year, not only they're gonna allow another hour, they're gonna reduce it to 48. So the best time to take it to ensure passage is probably next year. So even though you get an hour, you still got 60 problems, of which 20 won't even count. So
You don't know which questions.
you don't know which questions are. Yeah, so
I mean, I think all the disciplines do that, right? They put in data questions that are just being evaluated, it's not being scored, but you don't know, the test taker doesn't know which one, but I don't know what the percentage of the total exam are those, you know, if there's any standardization across, you know.
when I asked this question, when I found out it was that much, I expressed my dismay with
Yeah.
that high percentage. And so they are making that change. The other problem is that the search engine for the essay exam is different from what the examinees are accustomed to. And I don't really know what that different search engine is, but apparently you guys been having problems with that. Anyway, that's the key takeaways that I had. I don't know, Tony and Kevin want to add to it.
I have a question. So, does NTES do like a breakdown of, you know, in terms of people passing or not passing, we give break it down to male, female, you know, nationality or something like that, and they figure out the minority group is the one that's having a hard time passing, because NCARB does that. So they're trying to.
I don't think they do have that.
But they haven't shared that with us.
Yeah, they do like.
You know, because some maybe foreigners can't read quickly, right, or understand the problem in terms of if English is not their first language. And they can, I think they can ask for more time based on that, but I mean, that could be a problem. I don't know.
Good point, but you know,
NCARB does that. Statistics.
in our next meeting in August.
So was the SE not included in this thing that?
Spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not included.
Because of the issue.
No. It was because everybody knows that the SEs have disparity among all the jurisdictions as to what the requirements are. But they plan on doing a spreadsheet for the SEs, just so we know what everybody requires. I mean, right now, we kind of know what differences are.
Nothing else to add. Thank you, Howard, for providing such a detailed summary. Okay, any comments? Any other comments? Oh, yeah, all right, public testimony, I forgot. Any public testimony on this topic?
No public testimony at this time, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then moving on to agenda number 4, ongoing business.
Okay, this is ongoing from a rule revision that the board created a PIG, in 2024. This was before my time. And the board did approve of the rule changes language that we had at the time, but it has just been sitting, and we had our executive officer transition with me now. So I'm bringing this back up to kickstart the conversation back again. I'm recommending we either form another PIG or designate 2 board members to go through this current draft of the rules and just make sure that we're still in alignment with or still in favor of what is there, and make any edits, add anything that you want to add. I do have some bullet points that included from conversations with you and the public about rule changes, or excuse me, that stemmed from the original PIG. Originally, it was about decoupling the PE exam from licensure so that applicants can take that directly with NCEES and not have to apply for licensure in order to get approved to do so. There's a growing amount of inquiries to our East Board email as well, just of people asking about that and if it's a possibility or if it's going to be soon kind of thing. So this is absolutely relevant, right now that I can see. Some other things that I have before I open this up for a discussion is we talked about adding control systems as an engineering branch. This would be an opportunity to add other branches as well, or disciplines to the engineering disciplines that we already have. There has been talk about clarifying with the newer disciplines like environmental and fire protection, clarifying or adding some language in about accepting mechanical supervisors for fire protection experience, because it's a newer discipline. Same with environmental and civil engineers. So it's another bullet for discussion as well. And progressive experience is a very relevant thing that we don't have language including progressive experience for qualifying for licensure, which a lot of other jurisdictions have included that in the rules in recent times. Yeah. So this is our opportunity to discuss and hopefully either form a PIG, which will kickstart that process of the first meeting to announce the PIG, the next meeting for the PIG members to, for the public, PIG is permitted interaction group, sorry, public. The second meeting will be for the PIG members to report to the board, and then we'll have to save discussion for the next meeting, which we can discuss. So if we do form a PIG, it'll add a couple months to this process before we can get the rules revision process started. But that is up for the board if we want to form a PIG or just have 2 board members volunteer to look through this and work with me on the sidelines.
Okay, thanks for that summary, Eli. Is there any public testimony?
No public testimony, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Anyone want to start discussion here? Right.
I just have like just housekeeping stuff, housekeeping items. I only read the article section yet. On 115-35, I know you're changing all lawful wording to qualifying, so there's one that is still. Number 3, verification of lawful. And then 115-39 page. Number 2, A. Then F. That's all I have.
Other comments?
I have a question. So, in adding all the disciplines on the engineering, variety of disciplines, is there more research that needs to be done in defining those, or have you guys already, on the PIG that was done in 2024, have you guys already established those and made the definitions for those? Who worked on the PIG in 2020? Kevin?
Yes, so
Kevin?
the environmental and the fire protection engineers, that role revision was, I guess, separated from all these other changes to expedite getting that through. Because we're getting so many applications for fire and environmental that had to come before the board. So that was the reason for that. So those definitions were clarified in that original rules revision. This is just some housekeeping and
Yeah.
further
So just
clarification.
compiling everything.
Yeah, and then there's the other changes that are implemented, like about what Eli mentioned about decoupling the exam from experience and other things that we didn't, or we pulled back from the initial rules of vision to just to expedite the different classifications.
Like, you know, on the decoupling of the exam from the license application, is that being done for all the disciplines or just the engineers?
That was one of my other sub-bullet points. Looks like from the rules that the LARE was coupled with licensure for Hawaii. Yeah, so this would be our opportunity to cover that as well.
Yeah, so that was my other question. And then also in this, we would add the language that we just did for the passing of the SB 2607 and the House bill. So I know that you went through on the letter to the legislature and wrote a sample. So that's kind of what you did on that letter. And so though these paragraphs for HRS 464-8D that you clarified and kind of wrote a sample, that would be reflected in the HAR as well.
What page is that on, Nancy?
It's not on here. This is the separate letter
Yeah.
when we went to
Yeah.
the legislature.
Just a reminder, before we speak, let's state our names so
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
public folks can.
Nancy Cassandra, landscape architect or vice chair. So back when we went to the legislature with the changes for the HRS, for the LARE or the FAR requirements, we wanted to update the HRS so that we could change the HAR for the testing requirements. But part of that PIG report also that we did at that time also asked for decoupling as well. And that was kind of voted on and approved by the board. But that was kind of, yes. So, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so this letter that you had put together was the sample. And that language could be. So.
For adding to, using that to add to the updated rules.
My question is if there's more research that needs to be done about the engineering disciplines or more research that needs to be done, then maybe if, then a PIG would be, but if there's not research where we're just taking the two PIG reports and doing housekeeping and updating, maybe just working with you guys. That's just my own thought. I don't know how anybody else feels about it.
Do people have comments or opinions on the way to go about it? Do we form a PIG or do we have two dedicated board members to review and propose changes?
I have a question. So, you know, on, I'm sorry, Joel call. Are, you know, with all the various disciplines of engineering, are these that are being identified? Is it because there are specific exams for these disciplines, this specific engineering area? Yes.
Kevin Katayama. Either way, like to volunteer to be either part of the two-part party or part of the pig. Just to, for continuity of, since we started this way back when, and we had to separate it out, just to finish it up. I volunteer.
Thank you. I think that's a very good idea.
Any other comments, whether big,
I'll ask a question again. So Kevin, what do you, since you've been involved in the process for several years, what do you think is the best approach? Either a pig or just two people compiling everything?
Well, because it was such a long period of time, I know I would have to go back through everything again to see and remember what we did. So, I don't know if there's any new issues, for instance, like your guys' issues, but I don't know if myself and somebody from the landscape, that would be sufficient. Because I don't think there's any much architecture issues that are new.
so it is Tony. So it seems like a pig would allow potentially for a greater number of members or consultants to participate to investigate a more wide range of issues versus if you have, like a term, a committee of two.
Depends if there's any, oh, because Kevin got that one. Depends if there's any new items that you feel need to be addressed, any rule changes that need to be addressed currently.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Nancy Cassandra, what if two people start the investigation and then along the way say, hey, there's just way more information? How about now we form a pig?
Sounds
Do we
good.
do that?
Yes. Yeah, we would just have to form the pig at the next meeting. And then, so that would just push it a little bit, but
So
That is
is
an
there a
option.
deadline for the HAR to be submitted? Like, do we have to do it during a legislative session? No.
no, it's,
So whenever it's done, we.
The HAR doesn't go through a legislative process.
So Tony, as I understand it, once this pig or committee process is completed, it still needs about at least another year before the rules would take effect.
correct. Once we have a draft of the rules that we've updated, we've added everything that we want to add to it, then that's when the draft will get submitted to the rules revision process, which will kickstart that year-long process.
Because there is a separate specific administrative process for
Yes.
approval.
Yes.
And then if after everything's revised in the HAR, then the board has the opportunity to read through it again and then we vote.
Multiple times. Yes.
So if two people just got together, okay, let's compile everything and go through all the notes, make all the changes, then there's a opportunity for the board to review and then we could vote at the next meeting.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking, regardless of we do a pig or not, we still will want to bring this back to the meeting to vote or have consensus that yes, this is the draft that we like, and we've added everything that we want to make it modern and current. And then we'll submit it to the process from there. So if it's just a committee of two, we can reconvene at the next meeting, go over it and say, okay, yes, we're ready. If we form a pig, then the next meeting will be that pig's report to presentation of the report to the.
So Tony, this is either direction we go, the designated group will have about 2 months to finish the work.
And just to reiterate, this discussion is our opportunity to identify those items that we want to address, like checking the language for decoupling the PE exam, the PS exam for surveyors, the LARE. I believe the ARE is already decoupled. Is that right? Board member architects? The ARE is decoupled from licensure with Hawaii?
I didn't know. Sure.
You can sit for the, sorry, Tony, you can sit for the exam without applying with the board.
Oh, correct, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So this is our opportunity to discuss and identify the items for whoever we designate to update the language with. So decoupling the exams, as you see the highlighted up, there's a lot of small edits, qualified experience or lawful experience to qualified experience. Researching and adding language for progressive experience if we want to do that. Adding in allowing for mechanical supervisors to approve fire protection experience. Same for civil engineers to approve environmental experience. Adding branches to the engineering disciplines like control systems. And anything else. This is our opportunity to identify those items for our committee to work with moving forward.
Tony, I have a question. So can we include if there are other licensed disciplines that we may want to move? Or is that above and beyond part of the statutes instead?
Good question. Does the rule revision includes taking out?
I guess that it just depends on which one, because if I'm correct, right, the new ones that were added by rules like fire protection and those aren't expressly stated in the statute, right? So I guess to the extent that it doesn't conflict with it's possible, you know, I guess in the same way that you were authorized to add, you may be able to, but I think I would like to review what and to what extent and the reasons why.
Or Tony, maybe we can ask the group to just take a look at that to see if there are certain discipline branches that have so few licensees or no current licensee that we may want to consider removing.
So that's within the board's discretion. I will say, like, I'm not sure if I'm sorry, this is Jordan, the Deputy Attorney General. I'm not sure if the fact that there's very few licensees or no is a reason to remove it from, you know, completely from licensure, to the extent that there may be future applicants, or we do want that industry to be regulated in some way by the board.
Sure.
But that would be considered by the board, you know, in whatever branch that would be discussed. Yeah.
Yeah. Good points. Brian?
Brian, architect member, do we have anything in here, or should we add anything in here to clarify work experience, working at DPP or something?
There is a small blurb of language saying that plan review is accepted for some, keyword some, of the required experience for licensure.
Do we need to
Clarify here.
say DPP?
That's why we're gonna do the progressive experience.
Oh,
We want to add some measures in here about progressive experience.
every year it comes in.
Nancy Cassandra, Vice Chair Landscape Architect. I had a question, actually, I think this was on your thing of the meeting, that the Supreme Court ruling said that shall does not mean must, whereby must is more the strong word. So everywhere where we write these laws now, it's like, we have, you know, you shall do this, you shall do that, all through here. So you're gonna change all the shalls to must now?
Awesome.
That's a question for you, Jordan.
Yes, what are you referring to? I would have to read
So
that.
I was just reading this in Kevin's notes that at their
So this is NCES
the NCES annual meeting, I guess they said that there was a Supreme Court ruling that said that shall does not mean must, whereby must is the more stringent term. So
The Supreme Court.
that's what he learned at the meeting, and I just read that. I was like,
I was not aware of that. I mean, it's something that we can look at, but I mean, as far as I know in Hawaii, shall mean it's pretty strong Or,
It's shall do this, right? You shall.
but it's something that we would have to take into to know. The US Supreme Court says otherwise.
You need your Microsoft Word Finder and just.
A lot of shells.
In every law across the country for that matter,
But this, so you have the lawful, be qualifying, decoupling for each discipline, the progressive, experience defined, the engineering, including engineering, additional branches of licensure and their descriptions, which have already been decided upon and defined, and possibly evaluating, removing licensing, and then some license that are no longer current. I mean,
Investigate.
investigate that.
Some of the disciplines have single digit numbers of licensees.
Is that right?
Yeah, Tony, so I guess we would look at, not only just the numbers, but what is the value of having those licenses for that discipline? So continuing discussion on, perhaps before we decide which way to go as far as which group, is there anybody that wants to express interest in serving in one of the groups? Besides Kevin. Nancy?
Yes, Nancy Cassandra,
Nancy,
Vice Chair,
Nancy,
volunteer.
future chair who wants to volunteer.
Oh, am I allowed to volunteer?
No, you can't.
Okay.
Just making a note. Anybody else? We have an engineer and a landscape architect. So John Lucas would also be interested. Okay, so having those currently three volunteers, does everybody have an opinion on which direction we should go, whether we go with a?
so maybe I'll just add in, like, if there's three, then there has to be a pig for it.
Yeah.
But I say but because if two people can meet at a time, but there are separate meetings of just two people.
So I think the court has said that that's essentially, it's serial communications that we call it, that bypasses the spirit of the requirement. So that would be a violation of sunshine if
So that's why I thought we would ask for the volunteers first, to might influence which direction we go.
And I just want to clarify, the draft will be brought before the board several times for the board's review prior to approval.
As many times as needed.
Okay, so there's
But,
multiple opportunities for,
so Tony, I guess, if it's a group of two, or either way, the group would present the recommendations at the next board meeting. So the board could vote to, is it approve or
Yeah.
recommend?
Yeah, let me clarify. So, Eli Lane here, EO. If we were to form a PIG, then the next meeting, the PIG will present the draft and we will not be able to vote on it at that meeting. We'll have to vote at it at the next meeting, so 2 meetings from now. And then after that meeting where we discuss and vote, the PIG will end. So, we have to form another PIG or designate 2 more members to do that committee of 2 at that time. If we wanted to continue the-
actually, it's the second meeting. After the second meeting, for legal purposes, the pig dissolves. So then no more communications between those members would be permitted.
That presentation.
Well, I know we just did this too with the pig, but when you present, you can't accept comments from the board, right? We're just
The
giving
board.
information.
Yes.
So there's no discussion.
No deliberation, no
or
discussion.
comments coming back.
Yes. And the purpose of that is to allow the members of the public to absorb it so that they're able to, before further deliberation or discussion, so that they can make an informed comment, at the next duly noticed meeting.
So board members would have to save their comments or give me their comments right after the meeting so that I can save them for our discussion. at the subsequent meeting.
So Tony, or if it's a group of two, they present their findings at the next board meeting. And then the board, we have discussion, the board could vote to approve that draft.
Correct.
So it's a one-time review.
Correct. Or we can just say, okay, this is great, and
Or-
here are some more items.
Or we
that's-
could defer.
Yeah, different again. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay,
A
so
lot more freedom with the.
I just want to make sure that's all on the table, so everybody knows what they're, which way we're gonna vote, or of their decision.
Thank you.
Joel?
Okay, so this is, I mean, what we're talking about is having folks review the document for any edits, additional edits in there. I'd like to suggest that every board member, if they choose it, that it's important for them to look at it and scrutinize it and provide comments. They can do that individually to, submit their comments into our executive, right? And that would be allowed as well.
Would that be allowed, Jordan, if everybody gave me their comments and then I passed the comments to our committee of two? I know that's some weeds there, but.
I mean, we're already looking at a draft. Right? I mean, it was part of our packet. We're all looking at it.
So we're supposed to have for that or comment.
I will say, I think there's at least grounds to say that that is a sunshine violation, because in that, to that regard, right, everyone can play telephone and say, hey, Eli, can you tell these two this? I mean, I know that that's not the intention, but that's effectively what we're authorizing, and that would be, yeah, that's at least tricky under the sunshine law, and it could be argued as a violation.
You can just hold your comments
Until the next board meeting.
Yeah,
Exactly. I mean, so.
But at least you're doing your.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It just,
yeah.
it seems like it's,
It drags on.
yeah. My thought is, let's expedite this as quickly as we can, with being responsible that, hey, we've all looked at it and move forward, rather than trying, making the rules such a hindrance to proceeding.
So Tony, I guess
Joel.
commentary would be, so if we were to bring forth comments to the draft at the next board meeting, if the comments are minimal enough where we decide, yes, we agree to those revisions, we could essentially approve the revised draft at the board meeting.
Yes.
If it wasn't a pig,
If it wasn't a big.
but even if it was a pig, at the
Yeah,
third
it's just-
meeting, it would just
it's a
be
one process.
funded, but it was longer, yeah.
That's how the pig has the opportunity to have more members, but it would drag, the process itself would drag it on by another board meeting. Howard.
As a question, Howard, instructional member on the board. Having served on the pig that was looking at the experience, I had found I researched a lot of the jurisdictions regarding progressive experience, and I did find one that I gave to Sheena. And I'm hoping you still got it, because that one jurisdiction, I mean, it just fits us perfect. And I'm hoping you folks can get a hold of that, and am I allowed to make that recommendation?
Yeah, no, you're at a meeting, so you can say whatever you want.
Do you remember which jurisdiction that was?
No, that's the problem. I gave it to Sheena, and I'm hoping it's somewhere in her records.
I'll look around. Do you remember off the top of your head if you emailed Sheena directly?
That's the file.
I
Gave her a piece of paper, to give me a place to start with.
Phone calls.
Yes.
I'll look around.
I'm old, I cannot remember.
So, Tony, can you remind us how many members can the pig be?
It's anything over, two or more, up until you hit, it has to be less than quorum of the board.
I see.
Nancy Cassandra, Vice Chair. It sounds like all the research has been done. And it's more compiling. And then I think along the way of compiling, if at the next board meeting. It seems like we do need to do a pig and it needs to be a longer drawn out process. We have an opportunity to form a pig then. So I would think that the two people who volunteered, and I've happily stepped down, John, and can do it. So I'm leaning towards just two people consulting with you, the executive officer and the attorney general if we need to, and come up with another draft to present at the next board meeting. Do I make a motion?
You can,
We
Should we
ready?
take a poll first before we make a motion, or?
we can,
Everybody
we can
else
do a
do
straw
that?
poll. You can. Okay, so straw poll, let's think officially yet. So if, for those, this is Tony, for those that would prefer to have a two-person group take on this rules revision, raise your hand. Okay. So is there a motion to form a two-person group?
Nancy Cassandra, make a motion to form a two-person group to take on the HAR.
Is there a second?
Alyssa, second.
Thank you, Alyssa.
So actually, and I'll just step in. I don't think a motion is needed.
Okay.
If you guys, because yeah, the exception is that just two people can discuss. And I think if you guys vote on it, it makes it look like a pig, and except it's not a pig. So I think.
Okay.
So I think
Okay, so
you can designate and then those
we
two.
have to vote on the actual thing, just volunteer.
Yeah, just the volunteers and then.
Okay, so I think the consensus is we want to form a two group committee to take the lead in developing the draft rules revisions. We have 3 volunteers initially that would be interested. I guess, Kevin, since you did the last one, it sounds like you'd be one between John and Nancy. Looking for it.
I'll happily step down. So I made it final. So I was part of the other pig. So
John, you're good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here to serve, so whatever capacity, I'm better at drawing than wordsmithing, but I'll give it my best.
But John, you usually give pretty thorough NCARB summary minutes, so. Okay, so we have the group, Kevin and John Lucas. Thank you for that discussion. Moving on to agenda item number 5, applications. Is there a motion to move into executive session in accordance with HRS 92-4, 92-5A1, and 4, consider and evaluate personal information related to individuals applying for licensure, and to consult with the board's attorney on questions and issues pertaining to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities. Motion by Nancy.
Second.
Second by Howard. Any nays, recusals, or abstentions? Nothing, all in favor? Aye. Okay, moving into executive session.
Hello, Mr. Brian Zach, can you hear me? Um, you are requested now in executive session. Can you accept the breakout room? Thank you.
Yes, public testimony too.
We're still. Good job. Forgot the first three.
Pictures,
We're good.
picture of the team.
Okay, welcome back. So we are just finished executive session. We're still on agenda item 5, applicants. We're going over a ratification list. Is there any public testimony?
No public testimony at this time, Chair.
Thank you. Board, is there a motion to approve the ratification list?
So moved.
Howard, second? Nancy seconds. Any nays, recusals, abstentions? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, pass. Item B, recommendations on the following application review committees: Professional Engineer Committee, Professional Architect Committee, Professional Surveyor Committee, and the Professional Landscape Architect Committee. Is there any public testimony?
No public testimony at this time, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve recommendations from the application review committee as attached?
I move.
Okay,
Brian.
Brian,
Kevin second.
Kevin second. Any nays, recusals, abstentions? None, hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye, okay, motion passes. Okay, item C, engineer, Brian Zach.
I move to defer his application until further information is received.
Okay, that's Kevin. Is there a second?
Second.
Brian seconds. Any nays, recusals, abstentions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
We need to do public testimony for these. We need to do public testimonies for C.
I think you asked for 5. That's how I understood it.
Okay, motion passes, deferred application. Number 2, Travis Teener.
Kevin, I move to approve his application.
Thank you, Kevin. Is there a second?
Second.
Howard seconds. Any nays, recusals, abstentions? All in favor, say aye. Okay, number 3, Joshua Jordan. So this is Tony Lau, Chair. Motion to approve application subject to reporting back every 6 months, giving us a status of the work that he's done in the state of Hawaii. Is there a second?
Second, Nancy Cassandra.
Second, Nancy. Any nays, recusals, abstentions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes with the conditional approval. Number 4, Herbert Migleby. There a motion to approve?
I move that we approve Herbert Bagleby's application.
A motion by Brian. There's second?
Second.
Howard.
Howard seconds. Any nays, recusals, abstentions? None, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you for that. Agenda item number 6, next meeting. Next meeting will be on August 13th. 10 o'clock a.m., same location, and we will determine if we will be virtual as well. And other than that, we are adjourned at 11:55. Thank you.